I forgot how awkward it is filming in front of the camera after you've been gone for quite some time, but here I am, breaking the boundaries of picking it up and actually getting things filmed. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I've been gone for so long, I don't even know where to start this video. I've been meaning to pick up the camera for weeks now, but I just didn't know where the hell I was at in life. A little bit of a different video from me today. I just want to sit down and let everything out that's been sitting inside of me. Update you guys as to what I'm doing, where I've been, what I've been up to, where my head's at. I just disappeared. I literally went AWOL on YouTube and Instagram for a little bit actually. These last couple of months have been absolutely hectic, so let's start right at the beginning. In 2020, I decided I wanted to compete in September 2021, which is in a month's time. Today is Friday the 12th of August, so literally in a month's time. I probably chose the hardest year of my entire life to do this competition in. This is the first year where my parents have moved abroad. They've actually moved to Dubai. This is the first year where I've lived absolutely alone by myself in a house with my dog. I also have sat my medical school finals, and on top of that I decided to do a 22-week prep. Yeah, that just summarizes me as a person, really. Intelligent, but no common sense whatsoever. I hired a coach in September. We went into a couple of months of an off season and I was like, right, I am getting to stage. And I trained hard, I stayed on plan all the time. Like, to be fair, I could have not given that off season any more than I have. And then in April, I was flying out to Dubai to see my parents, and the week before that, I decided with my coach that we were going to start my prep. Prep started, flew out to Dubai, started losing weight very quickly. I think I lost like three kilos when I was there. Then came back, it was end of April and my exam season was approaching. The priority was obviously prep and exams. Like, I had to try and juggle both. Weight was going down in a steady manner, like food was pretty high, cardio was pretty decent, like nothing bad. And then there just came a point, probably around a month before my exams. This is like, let's say mid-May for reference. Mid-May came round and my body just stopped responding. It was like, nah, you can do whatever the f you like, I'm doing my own thing. So my coach and I decided to push quite a lot. We were pushing calories down, we were pushing cardio higher and higher, and mentally I was just absolutely exhausted, and my mental fatigue was just so high that I was sat there and I was like looking at the piece of paper like, what? It was just so frustrating because I was like sat there like, am I actually this stupid, or is this prep brain? Probably the first option, but I was blaming it on the prep brain, okay? So I messaged my coach about it and we decided to do a complete diet break during my exam season and a little bit of a deload before that as well. So July comes around, I get the best news that I passed my med school finals, and my coach and I were like, great, finally we can put our whole focus, absolute whole focus onto prep. Cardio was increased again, food was lowered, and my body was just like, no, this is not happening. I started getting really bad digestive issues, and if you don't like TMI, just skip this part. Basically, I wasn't going for a shit for like 4 or 5 days, and I started getting really bloated, couldn't brace at the gym. Obviously, food just wasn't being flushed. You know, I started feeling awful in myself. My health just wasn't there. Mentally, I just wasn't great. It was almost like I just wasn't feeling. I was just doing everything I was told with 100%, ticking every single box, ticking every single box. There we go. Then we increased cardio even more to try and see whether that would help. And it just wasn't. I did have like 2 refeeds during the whole time, obviously one around my exam time and then one a little bit after, and that actually did make my body respond a little bit better, but shortly after that it was again like, no, it's not happening. Yeah, I was just running myself to the ground. I wasn't complaining. It wasn't that it was hard, it wasn't that it was challenging. I love that aspect of it, and that is exactly why I decided to prep. I actually really enjoyed that. It was more so my body started to shut down. My digestion wasn't there. I started feeling sick. I started getting headaches every single night. And also I was putting in all this work, all this sacrifice, and actually I was getting no results at all. If anything, I was gaining weight. It was a sign that just like, Vix, now is not the time for you. And I'm just one of these people where I find it really hard to let go of goals that I've set for myself. I'm a very ambitious person. I do a job, I complete it, and if I don't, I get really angry at myself, basically. So I knew that prepping right now wasn't the right time for a really long time, but I was just lying to myself because I wanted to step up on that stage, and I completely forgot the principles of why I actually started bodybuilding, and that is because I love training. So I went to Rotherham at the end of July, start of August time, and I was training with my boyfriend who's actually competing this year. Shout out to him, he's looking absolutely insane. And he was just looking at me and he was like, you are losing love for this sport. And I really was. I was going into sessions and I wasn't training to failure. I was crying, I was getting upset that I wasn't doing sets properly. Like mentally and physically, I just wasn't training to failure. I don't know, and that is just such a huge part of the sport for me. Like actually loving going to the gym and going in and pushing myself. That's the whole point of it for me. So I really lost that, and the whole point of the whole like last couple of months was I need to step up on stage. And realistically, I lost the fundamentals of why I started this whole thing in the first place. So body was giving up, I hated training, I was running myself into the ground, and on top of that, I wasn't happy with my physique, which is just great. All negatives, all negatives. This is how my brain was functioning, just negative, 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 negative. And anyone that knows me knows that I'm not a negative person. So I was like, something is up. So when I was with my boyfriend, I decided just to have like a day to myself and really evaluate my life and just admit to myself that something's not going right. When things aren't working, you need to change. If you don't change, you're gonna be stuck in the same shit the whole time. Like, I just decided to start fresh. And for me, that meant stepping away from coaching with my previous coach. Nothing against her at all. She has tried her absolute best. I just want to put that out there. My body just wasn't responding, so there's nothing against her. It was just me. I needed something different, and I decided to go to my boyfriend for coaching. Since this time, we've kept me in a deficit, still with the aim of stepping up on stage, but just a different approach. So food went up, cardio went down, steps were at 15K, and luckily this managed to sort out my digestive issue and also started making me fall in love with training. But there was just still such a huge pressure I was putting on myself, because realistically, me being, well, having the amount of body fat that I do now, I would really, really, really need to push in order to step up on stage. And I spoke to George about it. George is my boyfriend, by the way. What do you think? Just be honest with me. And he was, which I respect so, so much. And he said, look, we can try and get you to the stage, but not at the expense of your health, your physical health, not at the expense of you losing the love for the sport and simply stepping up on stage. And that hit me, because realistically, I'm a competitive person. When I step up on that stage, I want to be competitive. Like, I want people to look at me and be like, yeah, she's got in the bag. Will I do that this time around? Probably not. With how my body's been responding, I just don't see that happening. I don't see myself getting into the condition that I know I can get myself into, knowing how much muscle I still have to grow in order to be competitive. I just don't think I'll do that this year. And I took a step back and I asked myself, like, why are you doing this? For who? Like, to prove what? The fundamentals of it initially was for me to prove to myself that I can push myself and my mind beyond limits that I know I'm capable of. And I feel like I've already succeeded there. I have done a 20-week prep now. I have ticked every single box. I have done relentless amounts of cardio. I've sat my medical school finals in that time. I've been on placement. I've just done everything. For me, this has been the best thing, because it's been the biggest opportunity for me to learn and gather as much information as I need for my future prep when I actually do decide to step up on stage and be competitive and absolutely smash it, because I know I will. Like, this is a long-term goal for me. I know I've got the potential to do well. So for me, the last 20 weeks was gathering information of what works for my body and what doesn't, proving to myself that in fact I can do it. You give me 2.5 hours of cardio, I will go there and I will go to that Pure Gym and I'll listen to the Pure Gym music and I will do that Stairmaster for 2.5 hours. Actually 2.5 hours and 2 seconds. I know I've proved everything to myself that I needed to prove. Me being able to take a step back and analyze the situation and say, you know what, now is not the right time. That is me being strong. That is me fighting against my very addictive and perfectionist behavior of, I need to do this because I set my mind to it. Yes, it's a good approach to have, but it's not healthy, and this is a way of me showing myself that I'm doing bodybuilding for the right reasons, which is all I could have ever asked for. So yeah, the plan at the moment is to continue in a deficit, and there are a couple of reasons why I'm doing this. One, because me and George have adopted a completely new approach to my plan, and I want to see how my body responds to that in order to gather as much data to use in future prep. 2, I need to shift this body fat because I've got so much stubborn body fat from where I had issues with binge eating in the past and I gained quite a lot of weight. 3, I know this was really silly, but I told George that the first off-plan meal we have together is going to be our sushi date, and I don't know, I'm gonna wait for him until he finishes prep and we're gonna go for that sushi meal together. Until that time, I'm gonna stick to plan completely. I just think it's gonna be nice, rewarding, and we started this journey together and I just wanna finish it with him. Number 4, I do want to see myself a little bit leaner, realistically, in order for me to actually see what my body is looking like, what I need to work on. And the last thing is, I want to prove to myself that I can, like, still, I don't need to step up on stage, but I do want to finish this prep as I should have, in the time frame that I set for myself. That is pretty much it. Like, that is the reason why I'm continuing in a deficit. After that, I'm going into a very strong off season that's gonna last at least 2 years. Maybe, just maybe, I'll be updating you guys as to some changes in my competing plans. But yeah, that's a video for another time. I'm really waffling now. Yeah, that is all for today's video. It's a little bit of a different one, but I felt like it was only the right thing to do to update you guys as to what's been going on, where I'm at, and why I've made the decisions that I have. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments down below, or I often post little question boxes on Instagram, so make sure you go follow me at Wix Fitness. So yeah, thank you all so much for listening and staying tuned and supporting me, and yeah, I wish you nothing but the best. Peace out.